My name is Sam,
I'm Lindsay.
I'm Elise.
and today we're going to make Oobleck. We'll be using a solid and a liquid to make this. Elise will be the leader, and you'll be following her. She'll be showing the steps, and then me and Lindsay will be explaining each step while we do it. So we have this short little video that we're going to show you guys.
You know what we haven't talked about in a while? Things that matter, like mass and materials and particles. I guess what I mean is things that have to do with matter. We've already talked a lot about the different states of matter. You know, some matter comes in the form of a solid, others in a liquid, and still others in a gas. But are you ready for a question that will bend your brain a little? What if there's matter that fits into more than one of these categories? Is there such a thing? If there is, what's it like? And can I make some? Maybe in my kitchen. Before I answer any of these questions, let's take a closer look at different states of matter. You remember what a solid is. It's matter that has a definite size and shape, like this desk that I'm sitting at, or the clothes that I'm wearing, and, well, all of me. I'm a person with a definite size and shape. Liquid is matter that has a definite size, but no definite shape. The water in this glass is a liquid. It has a definite size, but no definite shape. Like, you could say that my desk is desk-shaped, but there's no such thing as water-shaped. And a gas is matter that has no definite size or shape. The air around me and you is a gas. It's not shaped like anything, and its size changes depending on how big the container is that it's in. Now, all solids, liquids, and gases are materials, or objects made of matter. And all materials have properties or traits that help identify them, like their color, or shape, or size, or temperature, or weight. And now that you're properly refreshed on the states of matter, I'm going to cheat and answer our big question a little early. Or at least part of it. Yes, some materials aren't so easily lumped into just one state of matter. These unusual materials can actually act like multiple states of matter. Neat, right? Want to meet just such a material? Then let me introduce you to non-Newtonian fluids. The non-what now? Non-Newtonian fluids are substances that don't behave like we expect them to. These fluids might look like one thing, but they behave like another. So, what makes a substance non-Newtonian? Let's find out by making a non-Newtonian mixture of our own. Say hello to Oobleck. Believe it or not, I didn't make this word up. It comes from a book written by Dr. Seuss. You know, the guy who wrote The Cat in the Hat? In another book he wrote called Bartholomew and the Oobleck, there's a king who gets bored with normal, everyday weather, so instead he makes sticky stuff fall from the sky. That's where Oobleck, the stuff that we're going to play with today, gets its name. But the stuff we're talking about is real. Our Oobleck is a non-Newtonian substance with a pretty simple recipe. No magical kings required. All you need is about 1.5 cups of cornstarch, about 1 cup of water, a big bowl, and a spoon. Pour the cornstarch into your bowl and slowly add some water. Keep stirring until the mixture feels kind of like honey. In the end, it should look like this. Now grab some of this goo in your hand. When you squeeze it, it'll form a solid ball in your palm. But when you unclench your fist and release the pressure, it'll slide between your fingers, like a liquid. All fluids have a property known as viscosity, which is basically the rate at which a fluid flows. And Newtonian fluids, or normal fluids, flow at a consistent rate. But non-Newtonian fluids, or non-normal fluids, flow at a different rate depending on how much force or pressure is applied to them. So your Oobleck flows at a much slower rate when pressure is applied to it, acting like a solid. But when the pressure is removed, it flows faster and behaves like a liquid. Good for you, Oobleck. Being normal is overrated, right? So, if an object's viscosity or flow rate is not constant or changes depending on the pressure applied to it, it's a non-Newtonian fluid. Which means, yes, some materials can fit into more than just one state of matter. These materials are called non-Newtonian fluids, and they don't play by your regular rules of matter. They'll be a solid sometimes, and then a liquid at others. You do you, non-Newtonian fluids. I like your style.
Okay, Lindsay and Elise, do you guys know what a solid and liquid is?
I do. I have a liquid right here, and like they said in the video, water is a liquid because it takes up space but doesn't have a definite shape, which means that it takes up space in the cup but doesn't have a shape, because when you move the water around, it like makes into a different shape. If you can see, it's like not a solid. So That's a liquid.
And I know what a solid is because I have this solid, it's a pencil, and I know it's a solid because it has a definite shape and it takes up space.
I'm going to show you another example of a solid. Right here I have a ball, and like I said before, or Sam said before actually, this is a solid.
And then here's another example. Milk is a liquid. As you can tell that it doesn't have its own shape and it moves.
So now I'm going to count down from 30, and it's your turn to go find a solid or a liquid in your house. So I'm going to count down from 30. 30, 29, 28, 27, 26, 25, 24, 23, 22, 21, 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Hi, welcome back, guys. So now it's the fun part. We're gonna make our oobleck, and then you'll follow along with Elise, and she'll show you each step, and then me and Lindsay will explain each step.
So now, before we get started, we need to get your materials. So the first thing you're gonna need is 1 cup of water, 1 cup of cornstarch, 1 bowl, 1 spoon, 1 Ziploc bag, and then if you have food coloring, that would make it fun, but if not, that's okay. Your oobleck will just be white, and that's also fine. So now if you need to pause the video and go get your materials, go ahead and do that.
All right, so step 1, you're going to put 1 cup of cornstarch in a bowl. And then if you have your food coloring, this is where you will add 1 to 2 drops of it. And if not, it's okay. It'll just look white. Now, step 2, you will pour the water. And then while pouring, you're going to count to 5 and stir while you're pouring as well.
2, 3, 4, 5.
Now you're going to stir it all together. Mix the water and the cornstarch together.
So next, your next step is step 3. And now you're going to add the rest of your water until the oobleck feels like a liquid. And if there's powder, if your cornstarch is still like a powdery feeling, you need to add more water until the powdery feeling is gone. And if you need to add more water, pause the video, but if not, we can continue. And so you want to make sure that your oobleck is not too watery, and if it is, add more cornstarch. And then once the powder is gone and looks like a liquid, your oobleck is done.
Okay, we have our solid, which was the cornstarch, and we had our liquid, which was the water. When we mixed the cornstarch and the water together, we made oobleck. Oobleck is a non-Newtonian fluid. Has anyone ever heard what a non-Newtonian fluid is before? If so, raise your hand. A non-Newtonian fluid acts like a solid and a liquid. It does this because its viscosity changes. Viscosity is having a thick, sticky consistency between solid and liquid. Some examples of this is ketchup and silly putty.
With your finger, stir quickly and see how the oobleck changes to a solid. Now stop stirring quickly and stir slowly, and you'll see how it goes back to a liquid. Isn't that pretty cool? This happens because when you apply force, the cornstarch particles mash together, trapping the water molecules between them, which then causes the oobleck to be a solid. When it's a liquid, because when you stir the finger slowly, it gives the cornstarch particles time to move out of the way.
So thank you guys for watching our science experiment. We hope you had just as much fun as we did making the oobleck. If you want to keep it, go ahead and put it in the Ziploc bag. If you don't want to keep it, make sure to throw it in the garbage. Don't pour it down your drain or down your toilet. And then to clean up, just get a wet paper towel and wipe it up. Make sure you do it yourself.